Welcome back to Jake from School Reviews. I know it's been a while. It has been a long time. It has almost been a year of waiting for this episode to come out. I have had some issues. I've been going through some things. I have finally got my life sorted out, and I am back. And yes, I still have a cold from my last episode. No, it's a new cold. It's because it's winter again, and I live in a cold area. And I got a cold, so if I sound nasally and like an alien, yep, that's right, I said it again, I have a cold. Now, I know that everyone is raving about this show right now, and I know that everyone's watching it, and whatever, but I have to say this anyway, spoiler alert, because I am going to be saying some shit that will ruin your experience of the show if you haven't seen it, and this is one of those reviews that is actually going to make you watch the show. It is actually going to make you think, oh, this sounds like an alright show. I'm going to go watch this now. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I really liked this show. Loki is probably one of the best MCU shows that has come out in Phase 4. Actually, you know what? It is the best. Screw WandaVision. It's the best. WandaVision was great. Falcon and the Winter Soldier sucked. Loki's good. That's all I'm saying. Loki is the Rick and Morty of the MCU. I'm sorry, but it's just true. I love Rick and Morty. I love the wackiness. I love the way that it bends my head around and I get a headache just thinking about all the possibilities and theories that can come off one episode. Loki is the culmination of that show in the MCU. It is crazy. It is wacky. It is insane. It is so sci-fi. It's unbelievable and I love it. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, because I'm just saying this is going to be one hell of a ride. Alright, screw it. Enough of the pleasantries. Let's actually talk about it. This show's really good. I don't exactly know where to start with this show. I mean, we could start with the fact that this is some of the best writing that I've ever seen in the MCU. We could probably start with the fact that Sylvie is probably the best side character that I've seen in an MCU show. We could also start with the fact that the introduction of the multiverse was so amazingly well done in this show. I mean, we could start pretty much anywhere, but you know what, I'm going to start with Loki, because technically, it's his show. So, let's start there. Loki's really fucking good. He's really cool. To be honest, I don't know if that's really a revelation for most people. I think a lot of people already like Loki. I think Loki's a pretty commonly liked character in the MCU. I mean, from the first Thor movie all the way through to Infinity War, pretty much everyone liked him in their own special way. I don't know if that's just Tom Hiddleston, because he's pretty cool and everyone simps for him, or if it's just the character of Loki being this conniving, cheeky, mischievous character that we all kind of like to watch. I think it's a mixture of both. All credit to Tom Hiddleston. He's an amazing actor. Obviously, everyone simps for him. I didn't realize how much people simped for him until I saw my sister's TikTok account, which is just about 80% Tom Hiddleston and 20% Ryan Reynolds, so tells you a lot about my sister. But yeah, all credit to Tom Hiddleston. He's really good at what he does. But enough about Tom Hiddleston. He's great. We all know that. Loki. This character was really well done in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from Avengers all the way through to Infinity War. It's one of those characters that started off as a villain, we didn't really know his motivations, then he got this amazing character development through Avengers 1, all the way through to Thor Ragnarok, where he realized that his brother is the one person that's kind of stood beside him and really cared for him and actually believed in him when everyone else was kind of rooting against him. That Loki is gone. The Loki that we have grown to love has been stripped back to a Loki that was so hell-bent on power and control and ruling and mischief. People are gonna get upset. When I started watching this show, I thought, oh shit, no, everyone's gonna get triggered because they've lost this Loki that we all loved. Oh my god, he's not the same, I don't like it. But no, it turns out they did an amazing job in writing this story. I give credit to all of the writers behind this show. And I talk about writing a lot, I know, it's really annoying. But writing is really important, and if you don't think it's really important, you should read more. Because writing is really, really important. Just take a look at Game of Thrones Season 8. If you don't think writing's important, take a look at that show. It'll show you everything you need to know about how important writing is. Because when you mess it up, everything goes to shit. And I tell you what, They did not mess up the writing in this show. The character development that they set in place for Loki's narrative in this show was so well done. To be able to catch us up to this old Loki, strip him down to nothing, and then build him back up again to the Loki that we know in one episode was so well done. When I saw that, I thought, oh god, this show's going to be good. That's just such an amazing way to kind of fast forward through a character's life, to show him who he became and give him that sense of nothing I did mattered. Nothing that I am now matters, because eventually I give up that life. I become more than just a god of mischief. I'm just dumbfounded by how smart of a decision that was. This show has a lot of great character development for Loki, to make him realize that the Infinity Stones are just paperweights. Everything he did didn't matter. Eventually, his life was written out for him by some ultimate force that he didn't know about. Such an amazing and frightening revelation for a character that we know and love. They gave us a new Loki, a Loki that is no longer just a god of mischief. He's a god of mischief who actually cares for something now. And it's not power, it's not more mischief, it's not control, it's someone that he cares for. I think Tom Hiddleston actually revealed in an interview that the first step to take in loving others is to love yourself, which is a really great metaphor for this show. It's a really great line to kind of sum up what this show is. One side of the show is the TVA, the big baddie, the person behind pulling the strings of the timeline. And the other side of that show is Loki finally learning to love himself, learning to respect himself, and learning to invest in something other than power, something other than control, something other than mischief. And that is Sylvie. But now we get into the interesting stuff. We've talked about Loki. Loki's great. He's great character development, great story, great acting. Loki was fantastic. I think Tom Hiddleston's excellent. We're moving on. The end of this show made me lose my fucking marbles. I tell you what, I know I just swore. I know, I'm sorry. But I just have to say it. This show is incredible. This show is what happens when Disney lets go of the reins a little bit and lets the writers who are passionate and enthusiastic for the stories in the Marvel comics and bringing those comics to life in a show, letting them have the reins was the perfect thing for Disney to do. I think Disney are finally starting to learn that by letting go of the reins just a little bit, the people they employ who are passionate about the stories that they are working on will get the job done. Disney has a very rich history of trying to please everyone all at the same time with one source of media. And ultimately, that doesn't work. We saw it predominantly with Star Wars. They tried to make a sequel trilogy that everyone loved, but it didn't work because they were just trying to people please and they were trying to run an agenda. But then with The Mandalorian, they let go of the reins. They gave control to Jon Favreau, to Dave Filoni, and a little bit back to George Lucas, and a great team of directing and writing staff who were passionate about Star Wars and passionate about the stories that they were writing about. And they created an amazing show, one of the most successful Star Wars mediums of the last 10 years, which is incredible. And Disney are starting to realize that letting go of the reins is not such a bad thing. And they did it with Loki, and they did the best job. The people writing this show genuinely care. Every single line of dialogue, every ounce of content was meticulously thought about and cared for, and I could feel the passion in the writing, the passion in the script, the passion in the production. And I'm telling you this, the people who wrote this show, they love their wacky shit. Bringing in the multiverse, bringing in this crazy, wacky, Rick and Morty style concept with alternate realities and millions of variants that are constantly expanding, branches off the timeline. Just this crazy, wacky concept that 10 years ago would have never worked. But now it works. Because after Thanos was gone, and the Avengers had won, Tony Stark was dead, Captain America was old, and the threat was over, I kind of checked out of the MCU. WandaVision came out and I thought, yeah, okay, whatever, cool. I get to see what Wanda did after Infinity War. But that story didn't lead us anywhere. And now we've got Loki. And introducing the multiverse, introducing Kang, introducing all these wacky, crazy concepts, which ultimately gives us the foundation for 2 movies that we know of already, and potentially tens of other movies and shows. The events of this show will be the foundation upon which Phase 4 sits. The creation of this multiverse is the absolute smartest thing for Marvel to do at this point in time. They could not have done it any better, and I am so happy, because this show has actually reignited my passion for Marvel. Loki is definitely the best thing to come out of Phase 4. It has reignited my passion for Marvel, and it's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that alligator with the Loki horns on, I almost cried laughing, because it was so cool. I know not everyone's gonna like this show. It's going to go over some people's heads. Some people are going to think, no, it's too crazy and sci-fi, like, I don't like it. Where's the superhero punching the baddie in the face? And I get that. It's not for everyone. But I think that this is going to pull a lot of people in who really checked out after Infinity War. This show has reignited my passion for Marvel. Loki is astounding. Tom Hiddleston's great. Sylvie's a great character. All the Loki variants are amazing. Thank God that they actually let go of the reins a little bit and gave this show to people who really cared about bringing the comics to life. This show is the Rick and Morty of the MCU, and I love it. Loki is probably the best show to come out of Phase 4. You can't change my mind. I'm done with this rant. I'm done with this review. Loki gets 10 out of 10. I don't even care. It's amazing.